Aloha, my name is Andrea Cesarek and I'm a dietetics student at University of Hawaii at Manoa. And this presentation is about sports nutrition for surfing. I hope you enjoy.
Surfing is a popular sport. People love it that they can literally walk on water. It requires balance, flexibility, endurance, a wide variety of physical skills and techniques, and definitely mental strength. Millions of people surf, from beginners to recreational surfers to highly skilled professional athletes. This presentation will go over the exercise, nutrition, hydration, and supplement components of sports nutrition in relation to surfing. Exercise durations can vary depending on who's surfing and why. Beginners and recreational surfers may surf 1 to 3 hours, whereas elite surfers may be training for 4 to 5 hours at a time. During surfing competitions, surfers compete in matches usually lasting between 20 and 40 minutes, called heats. They may compete in up to 5 heats a day during competition, and the competitions may last multiple days. Surfing is a combination of high-intensity bouts that demand aerobic and anaerobic metabolism, and moderate and low-intensity bouts, which are usually just aerobic. While they're out in the water, you can find surfers paddling, sitting stationary waiting for waves, riding waves, and miscellaneous such as duck diving, climbing back on their board, turning around to get ready for a wave. Paddling can consist of prolonged periods of endurance paddling, such as paddling out to far breaks, paddling into position, and on windy days, paddling to stay in place. To catch a wave requires short, powerful bursts of paddling, which are usually about 5 to 20 seconds. These are numbers from a study where they analyzed videos of recreational and competitive surfers to get an average amount of the time that they spend doing each activity during a surf session. Different factors can affect the work breakdown, such as size, type, and location of break, how crowded a lineup is, wind, individual wave preference, experience, and skill. For example, in a study on male competitive surfers during a competition, they found that surfers paddled more at beach breaks than point breaks. Like all people, surfers are encouraged to eat a balanced diet of fresh fruits and vegetables, complex carbohydrates with whole grains, lean meats, fish, legumes, and low-fat dairy. Surfers who train hard may have increased energy and nutrient needs than those recommended for average individuals. There are not many studies done targeting surfers and nutrition, so energy expenditure requirements related to surfing are poorly understood. There was a study done in 1998 of the nutritional practices of 10 elite surfers via food diaries and questionnaires. None of them met the recommended total energy or carbohydrate intakes, but all described their weight as stable. 90% of the surfers had suboptimal zinc levels, and they averaged insufficient iron and calcium intakes. Most reported that carbohydrate intake was higher and protein intake was lower during competition than training. 90% in the study did not have good nutritional habits while traveling and demonstrated a lack of nutritional knowledge. Surfers face unique challenges because they have to travel to remote places and foreign countries by themselves for competitions. Thus, they may not have as much dietary assistance as other athletes in team sports. They may face a lack of availability of nutritional options or struggle to navigate menus of unfamiliar food. Competitive surfers appear to be shorter and lighter than the average age-matched sporting population. A low center of balance may be an advantage. The percentage of body fat is typically higher than average endurance athletes, but less than the average person. In the study of the nutritional practices of elite female surfers, their percentage of body fat ranged from 16 to 29%, suggesting that there is no ideal body composition. Because a surfer's mass is supported by their board while paddling and riding, a low percentage of body fat does not appear to represent much of an advantage from a performance perspective. Before surfing, it is recommended that surfers eat high carbohydrate meals with some protein. Complex carbohydrates and whole grains will provide additional fiber that is digested and absorbed slower, helping them feel full longer. Larger meals can be eaten if consumed 2 to 4 hours before competitions and training. Some examples of appropriate meals are whole grain toast with avocado and eggs, whole grain cereal with milk and fruit, yogurt with muesli and dried fruit and nuts, pasta or noodle-based dishes with chicken. When surfing early morning sessions, during the times that a surfer has less than 60 minutes in between rounds, or if they want to top up before going out, smaller meals are better. Some examples are fruit with a protein or granola bar, smoothie with protein powder, rice cake with cheese, and sushi. High carbohydrate meals should also be eaten after surfing. Nutritional recommendations generally suggest athletes should immediately eat carbohydrates to replenish muscle glycogen stores post-exercise. Consuming moderate amounts of protein after surfing can help build and repair muscles. Protein intake before, during, and after training influences training adaptations. Eating protein will keep a positive protein balance and encourage muscle synthesis and minimize muscle breakdown. Essential amino acids are key to muscle anabolism. Branched-chain leucine seems to be particularly important for the stimulation of maximal response of muscle synthesis. 0.25 to 0.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight is recommended to be consumed after exercise. Athletes desiring lower body weight without loss of muscle may need high protein diets. Carbohydrate loading means consuming extra carbohydrates with the intention of developing extra glycogen storage before events. 7 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight per day is recommended to be eaten during training. Eating 8 to 10 grams per kilogram per day in the few days prior to a competition will help saturate muscles with additional glycogen. Fat loading is generally not recommended for competitive surfers. However, consuming good quality fats before surfing may be beneficial, especially if planning to be surfing for several hours or more. Surfers can run the risk of dehydration because they are outside for extended periods of time, often in sunny, warm climates. Fluids are lost from sweat, and wetsuits can also trap heat. It is not practical to have a water bottle when sitting in a lineup, so surfers should drink plenty of water before sessions, and it may be beneficial to replace electrolytes with sport drinks or coconut water after sessions. When possible, it is advised to train early in the mornings and late afternoons and evenings to avoid the sun when it is the strongest. The only study that I found directly related to surfers and hydration came from a graduate thesis. Even though it is not a peer-reviewed journal, the study appeared well conducted and had interesting findings. They compared surfers in steamer wetsuits that participated in a 100-minute surfing session. One group ingested fluids during their surfing session and lost 1.6% body mass. The other group did not ingest any fluids and lost 3.9% body mass. The following 6 cognitive domains were assessed: short-term memory, information processing speed, working memory, attention, visuomotor skill, and visual acuity. All domains were significantly impaired at 3.9% and unaffected at 1.6%, demonstrating the need to stay well hydrated. Alcohol is commonly consumed after surf events. If consumed in excess, alcohol may delay recovery time. It can also increase dehydration risks, so it is best to avoid the day before intense surf training and events. Vitamins and mineral supplements are only useful if the athlete is deficient. Adequate vitamins and minerals can be obtained through a well-balanced, planned diet. Serious athletes should remember that excessive exercising may increase vitamin and mineral needs above the RDA. The most common supplements are iron, calcium, protein, zinc, and vitamin C. Iron is important for oxygen availability, which is crucial for optimal athletic performance. Iron deficiency will impair performance. Female surfers are most at risk because of iron loss during menstruation. Risk of overload is also common because of excessive use of iron supplements, so athletes should be tested for iron status and discuss supplementation with a qualified medical professional. Calcium is necessary for bone health, and zinc and vitamin C are taken to increase immunity. It is not difficult to get enough protein from diet alone. Getting protein from food sources may provide other nutrients, but supplements can provide a guaranteed amount of high-quality protein without additional energy ingestion. Small amounts, about 20 to 25 grams of protein around exercise stimulus, is generally accepted to be effective in promoting net muscle protein synthesis.
Creatine and caffeine are the most common energy boosters with sound research behind their efficacy. Creatine is believed to be safe with sound mechanisms that explain its mode of action. It helps to quickly recharge ATP that energy cells use, so it is important for paddling sprints for waves. Regular creatine use can increase lean muscle mass and also total body mass. Caffeine has been shown to improve endurance exercise performance and has mixed results for strength. No studies have been conducted on caffeine use specific to surfing, but a study on swimmers showed that 2 to 6 milligrams per kilogram doses enhance swimming performance. At recommended doses, no adverse effects are reported. Higher doses were not proven to be any more effective. Taking caffeine with creatine may blunt the ergogenic effects of creatine, possibly because opposing effects on muscle relaxation time. Bicarbonate is a buffer and beta-alanine is a precursor to a buffer. They buffer acidity caused by metabolic acidosis and anaerobic glycolysis, allowing more energy to be produced before muscle pH falls to a level inhibiting rate-limiting enzymes. Bicarbonate is most useful for short-term, high-intensity sprinting events about 60 seconds in duration. There were no published studies directly related to surfing, but it was shown to be effective in enhancing performance in the 4th or 5th swim in a series of 5 100-yard swims. Supplementation of the diet with beta-alanine can increase muscle carnosine concentration, which is a primary intercellular buffer in humans. In a study where individuals took 3.2 to 6.4 grams daily for 2 to 4 weeks, a 65% increase in skeletal muscle carnosine content was found. The World Surfing League, the International Surfing Association, and Association of Surfing Professionals have banned doping and illicit drugs and doping practices that are on the World Anti-Doping Agency list. This includes steroids, stimulants, gene doping, and much more. Surfing was meant to debut at the World 2020 Olympics, but due to coronavirus, the Olympics have been postponed. Thank you for watching my presentation. If you like it, hit the like button and subscribe for more content.